What's up, everybody? All right, guys. So the other day, I just kind of asked the community if you guys had any questions for me that I could help answer, and a bunch of questions came up, and there was one in particular. I just I found one question, and I'm like, this is going to take like an entire video just to answer this one question. So I'm going to try to answer the question. If you guys like these types of videos, please subscribe. Means a lot to me. It makes me want to do more of these types of videos. So anyway, here is the question. So Thomas asks, what's your belief in the new card market for rookies from 2017 and up? Hold them, grade them, sell them. Luis Robert started off hot and slowed down a lot. I have 30 plus of his cards I'm sitting on. So I figured I'd go ahead, just to kind of answer that question and give you where I think Luis Robert is. And what I did is I went ahead and ranked, if you look at every single rookie that was in Topps flagship from 2017 to 2020, so 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 Topps, if that player had a rookie in one of those seasons, I rank them from number 20 to number 1. So I thought it'd be interesting. It was actually hard for me to pick out who fit in my top 20. Just to give you some examples, here are guys that did not make my top 20 list. So Ian Happ, Kevin Biggio, Brandon Lowe, Yastrzemski, Trent Grisham, Dansby Swanson, let's see, Matt Chapman, that was kind of a tough one. Jack Flaherty, Austin Meadows, Yoan Moncada, and Yordan Alvarez. So all those guys didn't make my top 20. Now, I want to be careful here because I want you guys to understand that the way that I looked at this top 20 ranking, it's not the top 20 players. So if I was creating a baseball team, it would be a completely different list versus the players that I chose here. So the way that I thought about this was, let's say 25 years from now, I kind of look back and I say, okay, these are the top 20 rookie cards from 2017 to 2020 in terms of collectability or the most value. These are the 20 guys that I picked out. So just because baseball cards are weird, because just because a player is really valuable to the team doesn't mean necessarily that they're collectible, and vice versa. So I'll go on to explain what that means as I kind of go through the list. So at number 20, I put Kyle Lewis from the Seattle Mariners. He looks like he's going to win Rookie of the Year this year over Luis Robert. The only problem with Kyle Lewis is he's 25 years old. So he's an older rookie. He kind of came out of nowhere, so I'm not really sure if this is something he's going to be able to sustain throughout his career. But the fact that he is winning Rookie of the Year this year, I felt like he deserved a spot in my top 20. And probably, between him and, whoever wins in the National League, he'll probably be the most desirable player that's going to win Rookie of the Year this year. So at number 19, and this was kind of, some of you guys might think I have this guy too high. Some of you guys might think I have this guy too low. So at number 19 is Luke Voit. He had a rookie in 2017 Topps. The weird thing with Luke Voit is he is having an MVP caliber season this year. He's been absolutely fantastic. He'll probably finish top 3 or 4 in the MVP this year. I think he hit his 22nd or 23rd home run, and he's been just amazing for the Yankees. The problem with Luke Voit is that he's 29 years old. So he actually didn't have a full major league season until he was like 26, 27 years old. So that's really the problem with Luke Voit. It's kind of hard to figure out where does he fit in this list. I felt like he definitely deserved to be in the top 20, but when it's all said and done, like how much can he accomplish if he's already 29 years old and is finally kind of figuring things out. He might be like a Jose Bautista and, just figured it out late in his career, but you wonder, how long will he be able to sustain this level of performance? All right, at number 18 is this guy, Kyle Tucker. So I have him, there we go, Kyle Tucker at number 18. So Kyle Tucker, he is, he's 23 years old. The problem with him, and the problem I have with putting him up higher on this list is he really hasn't done much. He hasn't really had an opportunity to do much. So he's flashed some really, he's been very he's been very productive in his short amount of time in the majors. It's hard to really predict if that's something he's going to be able to sustain. He does have he was one of the top prospects for a while, and he's good. He's on a really good Astros team. So I could see Kyle Tucker being a guy that can continue this for a while. All right, at number 17, is this guy, Walker Buehler. So I have Walker Buehler at number 17. The problem, he's 26 years old. He's having kind of a down year, but he's on a really, really good Dodgers team. And part of the problem, you guys are probably thinking, why wouldn't Walker Buehler be higher on this list? My biggest issue, obviously, is that he's a pitcher, and to be honest with you, and pitchers just, unless you're like the elite, don't always have as much value and therefore maybe not have as much potential to be something that's really worth something special. I do think Walker Buehler is a really special pitcher, which is why he finishes at number 17. So at number 16, and this is to kind of answer Thomas's question, is Luis Robert. So I have him at number 16. Luis Robert was incredibly hot to start the season. He has cooled off significantly. I think he's batting like 50 over like his last 30 games, like 0.50. He's just been brutal. I think that just might be the type of player he is. I wouldn't be surprised if he's kind of like a lesser example of Ronald Acuna. I feel like, players that get really hot and then get really, really cold. To kind of answer Thomas's question, he was wondering, should I hold on to Luis Robert or sell him? The best advice I can give you is do not sell him right now. Like I said, he's one of those guys I can see getting really, really hot over a period, whether it be the playoffs coming up, or it could be a point in time next year. I would, if you don't have them graded, pick out the best cards that you have of Luis Robert. I definitely do think you should, especially his Topps flagship cards, get those cards graded, see if you can get a 10 on those. And then if you're going to sell them, wait until he gets hot. Don't sell him, after he's been batting 0.50 over the last 30 games. So that's the best advice I can give you. All right, so at number 15 is this guy, Pete Alonso. So Pete Alonso, very similar to Luis Robert. He's having a tough year. I think he's batting, now he's actually got his batting average up to about 220. But I think the overall feel is that, Pete Alonso's had a brutal year, but now he's averages up to 220, hit another home run today. I think it's easy to forget that he hit, 52, 53 home runs last year, has the home run record for rookies. So even though he's sort of a home run or nothing type player, I think a lot of collectors will go for that. Of course, he still has that awesome magical year last year. Plus, Mets fans are always looking for something to root for. Let's see. Pete Alonso is 25 years old, so he's still pretty young and should have a lot of opportunity in the future. All right. At number 14 is my man, Eloy Jimenez. So Eloy Jimenez, Let's see, he's 23 years old right now. So a really young guy. He's really been putting it together this year. I'm very excited for this guy. The best part of Eloy Jimenez is he's on this awesome White Sox team with Yoan Moncada, who I mentioned, was almost on my list. Luis Robert, who I just mentioned. Tim Anderson, who's just been blowing up. And then Jose Abreu, who may win the MVP this year. So, by the way, cheers. Oktoberfest is coming up. Happy fall to all you guys out there. But really like Eloy Jimenez, and that is why I have him at number 14. So at number 13 is a guy named Ozzie Albies. I say that like you guys don't know who he is. You've never heard of him. The crazy thing about Ozzie Albies is he's only 23 years old. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Ozzie Albies has been around for a while now, but he's only 23 years old. His flagship rookie was with 2017. He's on a great, again, similar to Eloy Jimenez, on a great Atlanta Braves team and has a huge future ahead of him. He's on my fantasy team and is always killing it there too. All right, at number 12, now you guys may think I have this guy a little too high, but I decided to put Shohei Ohtani at number 12. So why would I have Ohtani this high? I mean, the guy's hitting 195 this year. He's not pitching anymore. So the way I look at it is he is one of those guys that is incredibly collectible. I'm still amazed by how much, even despite him hitting 195 this year and not pitching this year, I'm amazed by how much his cards continue to go for. And that is something you got to keep in mind. Like, just because a player, is killing it or not killing it at the plate, are they a player that, collectors go for? And I do think that he can still have a big future. He was considered to be the Japan's Babe Ruth before he came to America. He had all of the potential in the world. He still has an incredible amount of talent. He's been hit with a lot of injuries. This is going to be one of those picks at number 12 where I'm going to look back, look 25 years from now and say, I can't believe I had Ohtani at number 12. He should have been much lower, or he should have been at number 1. He's one of those guys. I don't know where he's going to finish, but I'm putting him at number 12. At number 11 is the best pitcher in baseball right now, and that is Shane Bieber. So Shane Bieber's rookie coming in at 2018 Topps Update. Without a doubt, to me, is the best pitcher in baseball right now. The guy is just absolutely filthy. Let's see, he is 25 years old right now, so he's still pretty young. And right now he's just the ace of the team and should go on to easily win the Cy Young Award this year in the American League. I don't think he's going to win the MVP. I think that'll either go to Jose Abreu or Jose Ramirez, who's kind of come out of nowhere. It's funny because I just did a video about a week ago and I thought it was going to be Jose Abreu, and now I think it's going to be Jose Ramirez because the guy has been absolutely killing it this year. And I think Shane Bieber will probably come in third in the MVP, mainly because he's going to win the Cy Young Award. All right, at number 10, I got Bo Bichette. So Bo Bichette, he is my top guy. So if you guys are looking for, 2020, who do I think is the best player in 2020 Topps? I'm going to give it to Bo Bichette. It's kind of not really close anymore. He's definitely surpassed Luis Robert at this point. He's speaking of teams that are on the rise, the White Sox, the Blue Jays are another team to really keep an eye on with Kevin Biggio and Vlad and Bo Bichette. That is a really, really exciting team to watch. And Bichette, he's got the name too. So that's another nice thing, Dante Bichette, and now you have Bo Bichette. So, I think collectors like the familiarity. If you're a fan of Dante Bichette, maybe now you're a fan of Bo Bichette. So, another thing to keep an eye on. All right, at number 9 is a guy that you guys might argue should be a lot higher on my list, and it's Alex Bregman. So, I have him at number 9. I was looking at his numbers today. The guy, this is a guy from 2017 Topps. He already has 342 career RBIs. Can you believe that? And the guy is only 26 years old. My biggest problem, and I totally understand if you guys think he should be higher on this list. My biggest problem is he's the opposite in terms of collectability. I can't stand him. I saw his apology. It was kind of ridiculous. I also worry, and this maybe is the psychology, like ever since, the apology and all the pressure that the Astros have been put on with the whole cheating scandal. Bregman's having a tough year this year. Altuve's having a tough year this year. I mean, a lot of people are going to say, oh, maybe it was, he can't cheat anymore, and that's why, he's not hitting the way he used to. But you wonder, like, is the psychology of all of that, like, I can imagine the pressure of people, like, not, throwing pitches at you and just getting booed everywhere you go. I know, and the crazy thing is we're not even dealing with packed stadiums. Can you imagine when the stadiums get packed and, if it gets in their head? So anyway, I don't know if that's going to affect them. Maybe Bregman's just having a tough year. Who knows? But I put him at number 9. At number 8, you guys are going to call me a Yankee homer for this. I got Gleyber Torres still at number 8. Gleyber Torres, let's see. He is still only 23 years old. I know he's having a tough year this year, but again, he's on an amazing, the Yankees are always going to be good year in and year out. So he's going to have an opportunity to shine in the bright lights of New York. He's going to be in a lot of playoff appearances. I think, even though he's having a tough year, I think a lot of it has to do with the injuries that he's suffered through this year. He still has an opportunity in the playoffs coming up, but I don't think any of that matters. He's 23 years old. He's still incredibly young. He proved last year what he can do, and I'm amazed by how many collectors are giving up on Gleyber Torres. He's a guy that I would definitely keep on. By the way, kind of to answer the original question, if you had the ability to sell like a guy like Luis Robert and invest in some of the guys that I have higher up on my list, that is what I would recommend. Now, some of these are kind of apples and oranges because, you got to look at what types of cards are out there. Some cards may be more limited, like 2018 Topps Update. There were thousands and thousands of, PSA 10s, whereas 2017. So you have to also look at supply. But I'm just giving you just overall collectability of these particular players. All right, guys, at number 7, I have this guy, Rafael Devers. So the more I looked into Rafael Devers, the more I realized how undervalued Rafael Devers is. And the crazy thing, he's on the Red Sox, where you have a huge collector fan base. I'm not really sure why he's not as collectible as he should be. He's having another awesome year. And so Devers, I feel like he's been around for a while, and he's 23 years old. He's the same age as Luis Robert. Can you imagine all the things that Rafael Devers has already accomplished, having another great year with the Red Sox? And he's the same age as Luis Robert. So that's kind of crazy when you look at it. Definitely think Rafael Devers should be really high on this list. At number 6, and you guys may think that I have this guy a little too high, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So why do I have this guy at number 6? So first of all, he's actually having lately he's been doing a little bit better. He's pulling his stats up a little bit. So I really like that. Again, part with Bichette and Kevin Biggio and, the Toronto Blue Jays team. That's an up and coming team. I really like that he's in the middle of that order. And more than anything, he is a baby. I couldn't believe that Vlad Guerrero Jr. is only 21 years old. So if you think about all that, and we talk about a lot of these guys are 23, 25, sometimes even older than that. A lot of these rookies that we're talking about. Vlad Guerrero is 21 years old and is already piling up some pretty good numbers at the age of 21. So just keep that in mind. I remember when Griffey came up and he was 21 years old and people were talking about him being amazing at the age of 21. And here we are, Vlad Guerrero Jr. already doing his thing at 21 years old. Plus, his dad was a first ballot Hall of Famer. So why not? He's going to be a very collectible player for years to come. All right. I have at number 5, maybe kind of controversial, is my boy Aaron Judge. So I know what you guys are thinking. Aaron Judge, he's 28 years old. How could you put Aaron Judge on this list? He's not going to make the Hall of Fame. I understand all those reasons. All right, so let me explain to you why all of that is incorrect. First of all, there is probably about 4 or 5 guys that can be the face of baseball, and Aaron Judge is one of those guys. I can go on a train to New York City, and I'll see Aaron Judge's posters all over with like a Pepsi bottle. Another thing that I'll mention is that you do not have to be a Hall of Famer to be collectible. That's been proven time and time again. Don Mattingly, for example, Bo Jackson, Dwight Gooden, Darryl Strawberry. So you do not have to be a Hall of Famer. By the way, what a joke the Hall of Fame is, by the way. I know I'm going to get on a tangent, but I just want to get on it. Like, the team that you could put together. These are the guys that are not in the Hall of Fame, just to kind of go on a tangent for a second. So here, and I would argue that my non-Hall of Fame team could beat the best Hall of Fame team you put out there. All right, here's my team. You ready? So I got Thurman Munson at catcher. I got Donnie Baseball at first base. The best defensive first baseman ever. I'll put the 1985 Mattingly out there, hitting 35 home runs, 145 RBIs. We'll put Pete Rose at second, the most hits of all time. So I'll put him at second. We'll put A-Rod at short, and A-Rod in his prime, you could argue was the best player of all time. I don't care what any of you guys say. A-Rod in his prime was better than any player I've ever seen. I'll put Scott Rowland at third. Okay, so Scott Rowland may not be my best player, but he's going to be my third baseman. My outfield is Shoeless Joe Jackson, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds. So I got Sammy Sosa hitting 66 home runs. I got Barry Bonds hitting 73 home runs over in left field. By the way, I'll put Big Mac, his 70 home run season at DH. Then I got guys like Manny Ramirez and Gary Sheffield and Chase Utley coming off the bench. Game 1, I'm throwing Roger Clemens at you. Game 2, I got Curt Schilling. And then when we're ahead of the Hall of Famers 2-0, just to mess with you guys, mess with the Hall of Famers, we're going to put a 20-year-old Dwight Gooden with a 1.5 ERA and 245 Ks. And when my non-Hall of Fame team is up 5-0 in the 7th inning and Babe Ruth looks over at Willie Mays and says, "Oh my God, we're losing to the non-Hall of Famers," you guys could tell me why it's important that Aaron Judge needs to be in the Hall of Fame to be collectible. Anyway, that was a little bit of a rant. All right, at number 4, Cody Bellinger. So I have Cody Bellinger, probably not a big surprise. I know he's having a tough season. He's still hitting a lot of home runs this year. He is 25 years old. He's on the best team in baseball, the Dodgers, and he's going to be with them, I'm sure, for a long time to come. So I think the fact that he's having a tough year doesn't concern me that much. Concerns me a little bit, but I think he's still a top 5 guy for me. So that comes to top 3 guys, and all of these guys, let me just take a quick peek. All of these guys are 22 or 21 years old, and you guys know who it is, just a matter of what order I'm putting it in. So at number 3, I got to put Ronald Acuna. Acuna's injuries have scared me a little bit. He's been kind of hot and cold too. Never know with him. So One thing that does sometimes make me nervous is sometimes his lack of hustle, and that could affect his collectability, but he's just such... When he is on his game, he's actually better than the top two guys here. Like when he's hot, he's better than any player in baseball. But I do have to put Acuna at number 3. And so number 2 and number 1. And I went back and forth. These two, you could almost say 1 and 1A. I had to make a pick. At the end of the day, I went with Juan Soto. At number 2. It was not an easy decision. This kid's 21 years old. I think he's batting like 350. I don't even, like, it doesn't really matter. The guy can rake. Just unbelievable hitter. The Nationals, maybe that's what threw me off. You know, Nationals, I couldn't believe they didn't make the playoffs this year. You know, I don't know if that's something to worry about for years to come. I don't think it is. I think the Braves are a really good team. I don't know what happened this year with them, but Soto, just an amazing, probably the best young hitter in the game, just day in and day out. So anyway, Juan Soto, and of course, if I have it, Juan Soto at number 2, then you guys know who I have at number 1, and that is Fernando Tatis Jr. So he has a little bit of everything. He can do defense. He can steal bases. He can hit. He can play the field. He's got the it factor too, which is kind of what put it over the top for me. He's just one of those guys that's really, really fun to watch, and I think that's going to really help with collectability in the future. Plus, he's got the name, he's got the pedigree, the Tatis. You know, it's like he's got a little bit of everything. And that's why I put him at number 1. So I know this has been a long video and I've answered one question. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun doing it. Thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you later. Peace.